I'm Dr. Ben Dale, and I have a fear of retirement.
Lord, I'm so damn tired walking in these shoes.
Well, I'm grateful to get you on the show, and this is going to be the season finale.
Okay. Okay.
And
When you
a
say that
foray
now.
into video,
Okay.
because I wanted to bring only the beautiful people in on the video.
Yeah,
So
I get
I
it.
figure this is a good place
get
to
it.
start.
It's a great place to start. Yeah, I put my makeup on too, so I'm ready to go with that.
You do. You look. You look
Shiny?
good.
Am
You're
I
not
too
shiny.
shiny?
No, you're not shiny.
That's good.
Yeah. I'd like to start out by just letting everybody know how we know each other.
Okay.
And Mike and I work together in Manhattan Beach Unified School District. Dr. Matthews was the superintendent and I was the principal at the high school. So we worked together for 11 years. I was your first hire.
You were my very first hire, Ben Dale. Very first. No,
It's
not
not like
even-
me bringing the beautiful people on. You just come full circle.
Yeah, it was. In fact, that interview process started before I even became official. I was in there working for free, talking to you, and I remember
Yeah.
that very distinctly.
Oh, sure. The interview process started in the late 1950s. I mean, that was the longest interview process.
Yeah.
And
And how many times did I call you back, just you and me? Was it
you and
just
I
once?
met twice.
Twice? Yeah.
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 And I was about ready to have a nervous breakdown by the end of it. I was
Well,
just so
as you figured out, and I think you already knew it, but there's no position, I don't think, more challenging in public education than the high school principal job, and no position more important to the success of a superintendent, and no job harder to fill than that job, right? So I apologize for dragging you through it, but what's the sorry, not sorry? I mean,
you're not sorry.
Yeah.
You're not sorry. Then so we worked together and we did a lot of great things, had a lot of great memories. And but I want to tell some fun stories. And
I may deny them all. We'll see we'll see what's up your sleeve. As you know, Ben, talking with you in public always makes me nervous. So
well, we're not at the end of the conversation yet.
okay, that's good.
All right. So we might be with the story I'm picking. It is my absolute favorite story of all the things we could tell. But I was you called me on the phone and said, or you texted me and said, "Hey, I want to come over and walk classrooms with you." And it was just after lunch. And I said, "All right, I'll wait for you in the social science building." And you came walking up, and it took you a little bit longer than I thought to get over there. And you came walking up, and you were in pain because you had been attacked.
Oh, yes. Yes, there was a surprise attack.
You've been
There
attacked.
was a surprise attack.
So do you want to take the story from there, or are you comfortable talking about this story?
Well, no, I'm not. But okay, here we go. Here we go. So I'm walking. The district office is right next to the high school, right next door. We were between the high school and one of the elementary schools. As you know, the district office is the hub of everything important that happens in the district. And
elevation wise,
it's we were the lowest point in the community. We were told
that was.
that was. I go, are you speaking literally or metaphorically? And they assured me it was the literal elevation.
Yes,
speak,
the actual feet.
But so I'm walking up the hill past the football field and track up there, and there's a woman with a dog. And I walk by, and I'm kind of in my own thoughts, and all of a sudden the dog kind of jumps up and takes a little nip, takes a bite. Yeah,
Out of your leg?
Teeth bared, not so much out of my leg, and really below my waist area, below the waist, above the thighs, somewhere in that nether region,
Yes.
if you will. And my goodness, it hurt.
Yes.
And I was telling the woman, your dog is dangerous. And she just didn't respond at all to me.
She just ignored you and kept walking.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
didn't
So
respond.
you walk up the stairs and you say, and I go, are you okay? And you go, hey, I just passed by and that dog bit me on my balls.
Now, Ben, I wouldn't have put that into a podcast, but
And
yes,
I responded with sympathy, right? I was very concerned.
maybe. I'm not sure it didn't feel like sympathy.
Oh, I started dying.
Yeah.
Because if I had 1,000 things in my mind that you were going to say to me when you walked up the stairs, that was 1,001. And I just lost it. And
I think you also explained to me why the person ignored my.
not then, because I didn't know who it was. And and you kept going on about how much it hurt. I think you broke the skin.
It did not break the skin. You'll be happy to know. All was fine.
Checked yet?
Yeah, I had not checked yet, but I did check later. No, yeah. Oh, everything was okay. Just some emotional scars. And many of those emotional scars came from the fact that our conversation, like it is now, was not entirely confidential. Because later on, your members from your team and Expanded later on would say, that dog is dangerous to me. And that was code for our superintendent is quite something. Yeah.
Yes. Whenever we raised an eyebrow at a comment, man, that dog's dangerous. So
okay,
then,
Ben, well, that's
the next
a way
day,
to start this conversation.
or the next day, or a couple, not long after, we're on the quad at lunch, and a staff member walks by with a little dog, and you said, "There she is. That's the dog." And I looked and saw who it was, and I said, "Mike, she's a teacher in the DHH, the deaf hard of hearing department, and that's her dog." And you said, "What does a deaf person need a CNI dog for?"
I was just looking for clarity.
And
That's
so
all it was.
And so
But it did help me understand why the person did not respond to my question.
So that was point one. That's why she didn't respond to you, because she was DHH. And number two, this whole issue of why she had a dog. So I'm trying to recover again from hysterical laughter. And John Shaw was there too. And we were both just going crazy.
He's your assistant principal. Yeah.
Yes, he was assistant principal. And you were not kidding around. You were angry and hurt. Like, we were laughing. Honestly, you were not laughing. And so the end of that conversation, you said to me, "I want you to call HR and make sure she's done all the paperwork she needs to have that dog." And I said, "Yes, sir." I never called.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Well, because here's the thing.
We all like the dog. We didn't want to see the dog go away.
Well, I think there is work. We had other dogs on campus that we had gone through the proper channels, and they were really important dogs to have on campus.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But I did mean, it's hilarious if it happens to me. It's not so hilarious if it happens to someone else, right? And so, thanks very much, Ben, for following through.
Yeah, and I can see from your summary, you're still really not over it.
Give me 11 more years, and I think by then I'll be okay.
Well,
but thank you for checking in on me.
I'm checking in on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you letting us tell the story. It just, of all the things we could have told over 11 years, I know we picked that one, but it's iconic. I mean, even to this day, I'll get a VP that'll text me a picture of their dog with the caption, "This dog's dangerous,"
I'm glad I'm supporting the humor from your legacies there.
Bringing us together.
Bringing you together. That's right.
Yes. Yeah. Building capacity. So I've been following your blogs that you put out. Um, and I see them through Facebook, but you have a website, right? And
I have a website. I have a mailing list. I have a, and yeah, the website has the blogs on there. It has links to other stuff that I do.
what's the .com of the website? What is it?
It's drmdmatthews.com, drmdmatthews.com.
drmdmatthews.com. Okay, so I encourage everyone to go and check it out. I was thinking today about what you're doing with the blog and what I'm doing with the podcast. And it really is emblematic of who we were together all those years, right? And because yours are very thoughtful, and you include research, and you write beautifully, but it's very cerebral, and also very heartfelt as well. There's a lot of heart in it. But and then I'm just talking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And yours is more modern. Yours is more up to date, more accessible to people, and so that kind of fits that same description you were doing. My dad emailed me today. I always give him a heads up on one. I got one coming out tomorrow morning, and he goes, "Hey, thanks for the blog. It was really good. I did fall asleep after the first paragraph. You write way too many words, Michael." So he goes, is there a use fewer words button you can edit it with? Thanks, Dad.
Did you say thanks, Salieri?
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I wasn't excited about Michelle listening to the podcast.
Well, you say some things that I hope you've vetted with her beforehand.
I did not.
Because when I publish something that has Jill's name in it, she sees it beforehand.
But that, again, you're thoughtful. No, I just did it, but it wasn't for that reason. I'm not, I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid. So I knew anything I would say that involved the Colonel or Michelle would be completely 100% accepted. But she's not generally a fan of anything creative I do. So, and I don't
see,
know.
I'm going to defend her a little bit.
I don't know if I said that right.
Yeah.
She's
fully supportive of your music.
She's a harsher critic than I would like her to be.
That's a good thing.
Did I repent there?
And nicely done.
Yes, thank you. No, because it's actually more accurate. And all I want from her is just, worshipful praise.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I want her to just, anything that comes out of my mouth or I just crap out of my brain, I want her to go, "Oh, Ben."
Was that in the wedding vows? I wasn't at your wedding, but was that?
No.
And now
at Little Chapel of the West in Las Vegas? No.
Exactly. Nothing but words of praise forever and forever. Amen.
Well, the preacher was drunk, so it would have been slurred. But yeah, you're close to the button. Mm-hmm. But so I hear you what you're saying about Jill. I don't know if she's quite as to the juggler as Michelle is, but I can see how that would be a thing.
It's also a little nerve-wracking to share a lot about yourself with not just friends, but whoever wants to listen, right?
Yeah.
It's a new thing. I mean, we're used to pressing buttons that send our emails out to thousands of people
who have to listen to us.
But this is different, right? This is that was professional and this is personal. So it is different.
Yeah. And I think there's an arrogance to that too, because on some level, you do this with the confidence that people are going to find it interesting, and so you have to have a little bit of righteous arrogance in thinking this is going to be other hand, people.
I mean, for me in writing, and I like you, I mean, I'm really enjoying the whole process. It is work, but I enjoy it. And it's a little bit of maybe this is arrogance too, I don't know, but it's a little bit of legacy for my family too, right? Yeah. There's, you're telling personal stories. You're certainly sharing lots of personal stories. And our kids hear those things. And you have grandkids, I don't, but we're both storytellers, but those verbal things will go away. And so I think there's a lot of that to it, just kind of little legacy action on that whole thing too.
I completely agree. Although I don't see the podcast as that, but when we were recording the first Truck Stop album, the producer in the studio said, "Why are you doing this?"
Mhm.
And I said, "Because I want my great, 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 great grandchildren to know what my voice sounded like."
Yeah. Nice.
And just some of the things I'm thinking about,
Nice.
lying, cheating, and stealing. But
Yeah. Yeah. And misery and sadness.
misery and drinking and trucks and mama in the rain. But so
Trains.
yeah, I totally get that. I think you're right on the money. I liked one of your recent ones. You put a photo of yourself playing guitar, and at first you think it's you being a street musician, but if you read between the lines, that was on campus when you were a principal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That was 60s week, right? And just out there, bare feet playing music to a few people who were listening. And yeah.
Well, that's the first thing I saw was the bare feet. That's a strong move for a principal on campus.
Yeah, it was in a safe area where I had made sure there was
Definitely.
and bare feet are open toed, but at Malibu High School we didn't have a whole lot of rules like at Mira Costa about closed toed shoes.
It's just a confidence I don't have because I would not. No way, I would not.
My son went to school barefoot one day, and that was after I had left being principal there, and they gave him a hard time, so he took a Sharpie and drew sandals on his feet, and they let him stay. Ryan.
I love Ryan. Ryan's who I really want to be in life. Instead of myself. If I got to pick, I'd pick Ryan.
You're both characters.
So you were an actual street musician during what we would now call a gap year at Stanford.
Yeah, so it wasn't supposed to be a gap year, right? So I went over I was an international relations major, and I went over to West Berlin. The wall was still up. It was 1982, and I was supposed to stay for either 2 quarters or the full year. And so I took 1 quarter of classes over there. And then I started I was still new to guitar. I had learned it as a freshman year. I bought a guitar, started learning it, and I played a little more my sophomore year. And so I bought one over there, just a cheap, nothing, $70 guitar. And a guy in the program who'd been in the program a while back had quit and was doing a street musician thing, but he couldn't sing that well. Mm-hmm. So I went out and sang with them and provided harmonies for his voice when he wanted to do it. And then eventually I started playing with him, and he goes, "Why don't you quit school and let's do this? And we could do really well." So you didn't tell your parents anything. My parents there was no phone calls. There was letters occasionally. So I just said, "Hey, Stanford called it stopping out. I'm going to stop out for a while, and you don't need to send me any money. I can afford to live here on my own, and it's going to be great." And they go, "Okay." And so yeah, did that. And what I wrote in the blog was, it was as free as I'd ever been. I mean, the time that I had, we were supposed to be out there playing in different bars or on the streets around 6 or 7 at night. We did it till around midnight. And, so much open space and time for practicing guitar, because I needed to learn how to play. But just for thinking and reading and being philosophical. And it's where I really decided to be a teacher, try teaching, because I was always pre-law, and my dad wasn't too happy with the law those days. And so I started researching that and volunteered in the classroom when I came back, and spent the next 38 years in public education.
Boom, till retirement.
But that was a fun time, man. That was a fun time.
So what was on your set list?
Oh, okay. It's a rare question, a good question. A lot of Beatles, right? Okay. The most requested song I refused to play. The most requested song was House of the Rising Sun. It just goes on forever.
Right.
I mean, there is a house. I don't need that. I mean, and so I go, no.
You got time for that.
I'm not playing that. So we played Jumping Jack Flash. We had Satisfaction. We had 8 Days a Week. We had The Boxer. We had a lot of Creedence Clearwater Revival on there as well. And it was people knew the songs.
Okay.
People knew the songs. So it worked. And our most common way, we had deals with certain restaurants. We would come in and play for 20 minutes and pass the hat afterwards. Like
mariachis.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I got the biggest tip I ever got was, and I may have told you a story, but
Go back to school. No.
playing in a big restaurant, and we sang "Joy to the World," which begins with a kind of. And if
Yeah.
I'm not a good singer, I'm not an okay singer, but I'm a
Okay.
loud singer. I have some volume. It begins with the words "Jeremiah was a bullfrog," right?
Yes.
This guy calls me over after that song. He goes, "I'll give you 20 marks," which was $8, which would buy us 4 bratwurst and fry.
That's 4 days of eating.
Oh, that's 4 days of eating. And I'd already lost 20 pounds. I was surviving, but I wasn't thriving. And so he goes, "I'll give you 20 marks to play." And I'm listening closely. He goes, "On the other side of the restaurant." And I go, "You got it, sir. You got it. Thank you very much." And he was happy. I was happy. Everybody won with that whole thing.
We're all winners.
Not a fan of volume. Not a fan of volume.
How much did you make on an average day?
We could make between for each of us could pull in between, some nights were terrible, like nothing, like 5 marks each to maybe 50, 60, 80, so 40, 50, $60 each, something like that.
A day?
In a day. Yeah.
Wow.
We could do that. But we had to pay rent with it and groceries, and there's no cars and all that. But survived.
Made it work.
Yeah.
And how long did you do it?
Did it on 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah. It
And
was
then you
great.
stomp back in.
Stomp back in. Yeah. Yeah.
So we both recently retired. And you and I have been talking about doing this, but what really lit a fire under me is your last couple of blogs have been about retirement. And I appreciated the shout out you gave the podcast and everything. But I've read through them a couple times, and the first thing that struck me is the reason why you retired. And I think it's interesting because everybody has their different reasons, but that's not a reason. That's a reason that's new to our generation.
Yeah.
Generation before us didn't give that reason, and so to me, that's what's fascinating is how the mindset is changing around it.
And this is the reason you're talking about where I really just felt that it was in my best interest to lead a long and healthy life. Is that the one?
Yeah. You said you retired to benefit your long-term health.
Yeah. I was looking at, we both worked there 11 years. Was that your longest job ever?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
mine too. I mean,
How long is sight?
I had 2 11-year jobs, right? And for me, that's a good length to stop at. But I decided not to look for other work because a couple of things. One, I think commuting, and I did a lot more of that than you did. Commuting's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the
commuted.
car. Yeah. Okay, Ben. You were walking towards the end, but at least you didn't drive, which I appreciate. But
That half a block was not for the faint at heart.
yeah, just
All right. So anyway,
I
I couldn't
see you,
resist.
and I
So you
think I-
commuted.
yeah,
That
I think I
added
miss
to
you,
it.
and I don't miss you, but
That's going to
but
be
yeah,
my epitaph.
the commute, the hours were rough, and I mean, face the last 2 years I think for everyone in public education, teachers, site administrators, board members were rough, right? They were rough, and it's a little better now, but boy, it's still not easy right now. And so my blood pressure was up for the first time in my life, and I thought that just looking at it and having long conversations with Jill, I just said, look, I at least want to try it out, right? And I have not officially signed the paperwork with our retirement system to retire, and so I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. But what I wanted to know is, was I going to miss it terribly? Was I going to miss the adrenaline of it? Was I going to miss the leadership side of it, having purpose because of being the leader of a school or a school district, right? Was I going to miss all that? So I'm kind of trying it on for size right now. And so far it fits pretty well.
I was just saying, do you miss it? Do you miss the adrenaline of it?
Nope, I don't miss that. You know what I miss? I miss the social side of it.
Yeah.
I miss walking through the office, walking over to your site, seeing people, checking in with them, having people you care about around you and just checking in with them. Because, in our life, it's kind of quiet.
And outside of board meetings, the community stuff was always awesome too.
Right.
We did the Mike and Ben show and the wine auction and
Right.
all the fundraising and campaigning we did and going to city council. And that was all usually pretty fun.
It was fun. And I've said the same thing for a long time, whether it was a high school principal going to a sporting event or a play, back when when I had a commute like yours, or as a superintendent, not being at home to go to it, you kind of, God dang, I got one more night thing to go to. But once you get there, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, what? You love the business, right? You love seeing kids do well. You love the people who care so much about the education system that your kids are in. You love the hardworking employees, teachers, and it's great. But being away from home's hard.
Yeah, I have great memories, but I don't miss it.
Right.
Because what you just said and what I just said, and I've, gone on and on about it on earlier podcasts, is I think us trying to come to grips with being okay, not missing it.
Right.
Because for me, seems like a little bit of guilt or maybe a little bit of being disingenuous to say, oh, I don't miss it at all.
Right.
When the reality is you don't miss it, but you still have such a great respect for all the good people.
Right.
And all the good things.
And I still care about them. I'm following them. I'm talking to them and checking in with people. And, you and I taught that class at Cal State Long Beach, and we're mentors to our students forever. Right. And so, so you stay connected, and I don't think I'm done, but 38 years of public education, that's no small amount. And maybe I can try something different right now.
Yeah. And I truly believe you will. And look forward to seeing what that's going to be.
Me too.
How are you filling your days? So now you've got all this time, and I know you wrote about it, but how's it going?
So very different than you, right? I really appreciated I think it was your second podcast where you talked about all the things you're doing in a day, 15 minutes for reading, 30 minutes for music. How's that G scale coming along, by the way?
Pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good. I don't do any other scales. I just still the G scale.
Yeah. They'll have kind of the same pattern. But I don't do that. I mean, I try to have kind of fence posts in my day that I go from, where I don't have empty days, but maybe I'm swimming in the morning. I'm trying to learn how to be a better golfer. I'm practicing golf at some point. I'm doing some music. I'm taking longer cooking something because I love to cook. And but I'm not volunteering right now at any organization like you are. I'm not taking on any long-term structured responsibilities like that. I'm exploring and filling my day that way. And this week's blog post is about really having downtime, and I'm not very good at that. And I don't know if I even want to be good at it.
No, you don't.
Yeah. I mean, my dogs, they're good at downtime. I mean, they kill it.
Our dogs have that in common.
Yeah. And I don't think that's me, but I know it's healthy, like even athletes better than I do, but the world's best athletes sleep a ton.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't sleep and I don't sleep.
Yeah.
Are you sleeping better, by the way, since you retired?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. But I read that in yours that you talked about, your sleep still not having it right. And
6 hours or so. It's okay. It's all I need. But I thought I would go a little longer. I think it's probably healthier, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the job made it worse, but I admit that it was a problem before the job.
Yeah.
You know? Even as a teenager, I didn't sleep.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm not.
And I can't sit around.
Yeah.
I cannot. I have to be moving throughout the day. The only time I sit is when I eat.
Right.
But my eating's changed because I don't eat out anymore.
Right.
And Thursday morning on the way to a volunteer opportunity I have on Thursdays, and it's every Thursday. Thursday morning on the way, I get Burger King.
I was going to ask if the King is in your life. Yeah.
No, the King is like en route. I don't even have to go one block out of my way. And
They got some new menu items.
they
They're
do.
reading. They're trying to make their menu a little more varied right now. I've not. I think I've only been to the King with you. I mean, I haven't been in a long time.
No,
Are
you
they
just
still?
eat.
Are they still flame broiled?
They're still flame broiled, but it's the croissant for breakfast and then the Whopper with cheese for lunch. They don't need other things on the menu.
No, they don't.
No, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I forgot where I was going with all that, but it's changed my eating. I eat all at home. I don't eat out anymore. So in that sense, it's better. I'm not with you on the plant slant.
Yeah, I'm doing it, man. I tell you, because I'm a carnivore.
Yeah.
But with being an empty nester right now, my youngest Dawson was a big meat eater. He wouldn't eat a sirloin steak. He'd only eat a fillet steak, which is probably not good parenting on my part. But maybe it is good parenting. I don't know. But now with him gone, hey, we had for this weekend lentil loaf with an onion gravy on top of it.
I literally am dying inside for you.
It was so good.
Okay.
It was
So
so
there's
good.
two things I need to grab from you next time I'm in California.
Okay.
One is your redneck card. You're done. And two, you must not need your green egg anymore.
Yeah, I need it. I do need it. I appreciate that, but there's
Okay,
still
because I'm willing as a friend.
Yeah, you can't put that on carry-on in a plane. It's a 300-pounder.
How
So
awesome would that be, though? just bungee cord around it and check it on.
Yep.
I hear banjos already.
Yeah, it's all good. All good here.
No, I liked. You had your list: move naturally, know your purpose, downshift, 80% rule, plant slant, red wine and alcohol in moderation. Of course, I'm out on that, right?
Yeah, and that's the one I don't like because I know too many people who either don't prefer alcohol or have taken it out of their lives because it caused so much damage in their lives.
Yeah.
And so, I do enjoy a glass of wine or two at night, but I'm not about to say that's how you live healthy.
Yeah.
I think moderation is a great thing, right? I mean, I do, but to recommend that when there's so many people who've been harmed by it, I'm not about to do that. So I'll that's coming in a future blog post to say what
talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, then your last three are belong, and then loved ones first in the right tribe are kind of the same thing.
Right.
But and I love belong. I love that you put that in there. I thought that was very, very well done and well taken.
And those aren't mine. I'm using the entire Blue Zone structure, which, remember from working with Beach Cities. It's all research based on, some the longest living societies in the world. And so I'm using that as structure with it. And I'll lump some of those together. I'm not going to make this thing last forever or I'll kill my dad, I think. But
yeah, this is not cool. So you talk about also looking at hobbies. What would you consider your hobbies?
So, yeah, whether you call them hobbies or not, but music, we both share that one, right? You're more serious about it than I. But
are you writing now?
I've never written music, never have. You call yourself a campfire camper. I'm a pretty good guitarist, campfire singer. I can play any chord you want me to play. I can play it. But so
what do your guitar sessions look like?
They're learning new songs. I try to get, I probably have 40, 50 songs under my belt, some of which I can still play from my Berlin days, right? And but I'm just learning new songs that come, some more modern and fun. And I have a friend in the neighborhood, and he and I will play together, not perform, but oftentimes at neighborhood get-togethers, we'll do the Brooks and Mike show, and people like singing along and that sort of thing. And so, and it's also to maintain your chops, right? Because if you don't play for a week, your fingers get soft and you can't play for very long. And so, and then I'm trying to learn more licks, right? So more things where you make it, you're not just strumming along,
Right.
Where you're actually putting some interesting parts in there. So all those things.
And what else? What other hobbies do you?
So, man, I love golf. I love it. I was playing twice a week for a long time. To play golf on a Wednesday, come on, you're out there.
Great.
That's great.
Yeah.
And to have time to have lunch with people afterwards, the guys you're playing with, and just relax. I know I mean, people think it's an elitist sport and all that, but go to Westchester Golf Course and tell me what an elitist sport that it is. It's a sport. People are passionate from all levels about the game. And so to be out there doing that and getting good, it's a game my son and I share in common. And so he's very good, Ryan is. And so to be able to play with him and to be sometimes competitive, but no matter what, having a good time. So that's a hobby of mine.
And you cook.
I cook a lot.
Principlechef.com.
Principlechef.com. You can reach it to drmdmatthews.com. It's all connected over there.
Just integrated.
That's right.
I like it.
And so I love cooking and sharing recipes and doing that sort of thing too. I have my whole outdoor kitchen, love doing that. And I get it that you want to take away the big green egg, but it's staying. And I love that thing. Think about building a pizza oven in the backyard, by the way.
Ooh.
Not a small, not one of those little ones you get with the
pull down.
Yep.
Viking oven thing.
No. This would be a common, either a gas and wood, so you can do it either one. But one of those things you can probably put 4 pizzas in,
nice.
And just do it right. So Jill is, I don't have the go ahead for that yet. I think it's probably priority number 174 right now, but it's on the list.
Just start throwing her like tofu pizza links.
Tonight's pizza night at the house. I got dough rising right now. It's gonna be great, but it's all oven based. And so I keep telling, man, if we did this outside, wow, be a whole different deal.
Yeah, I felt it when you said it just now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're almost there.
Yep. And then I swim. I love swimming. Yeah. I join a master's group. I enjoy the social aspect of it. I still want to compete occasionally, and mostly with myself. I'm not going to beat the people who are at the top of the masters swimming world, and even in my division, age 60 to 65. You watched them on the Olympics 40 years ago. So those same guys are out there. So they were way better than I am now, and they're significantly better than I am. But I may have closed the gap a little bit.
Which is always great, right? And you live for those moments. But what you talked in your blog about getting to your high school times. What 50 free? What are we talking?
Yeah. So I was I was a very serious swimmer from age 8 to 11. I mean, I swam probably 4 hours a day when I was in those ages. And then I quit. I got burned out, right? And I did.
It's just funny because,
there's a story behind that too. But
8 to 11, yeah.
But it was morning and afternoon workouts, and before school and after school workouts, right? And by the way, none of this independent study PE stuff.
No,
go to school.
This was
just get it done.
Okay.
But so I came back in high school and swam, and I'm working harder now than I worked in high school workouts.
Okay.
Right. It was, so I swam the 50 free in 23 seconds.
Okay.
Right. Which was very good in the state of Arkansas. And I did, I was ranked in the state and all that. you'd think in 100 free, Ben, I hate to quiz your math in a live podcast, but what is 23? Go double that.
That'd be 46.
Yeah, I did a 56.5 in the 100 free.
Okay.
Now you lose 2 seconds for the start, right? So
Yeah.
you lose 2 seconds. It really should have been like a high 58, high 48 or 49.
You
But I
lost
was-
another 7-8 seconds in your
I was
flip turn
dying.
there.
I was dying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I like to beat that. I think 56.5 is my time.
Where are you at now?
57.7, something like that.
So you're in striking distance.
I'm in striking distance. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's a
Big,
goal.
big time social media post when you do it.
Oh, yeah. And the likes on that, you just wait to see what happens then.
I also think writing is a hobby for you.
It is. You're exactly right. And that's new for me. I mean, when I think you felt the same way, but I loved writing newsletters to the public, right? And I took pride in being a little personal with those and doing that. But this is something different. And I still have 3 friends from Manhattan Beach who will look at all my posts and critique me on them before they go out. And they
really?
They love doing it, and they are harsh. I mean,
Okay.
which is exactly what I want.
I bet I can name all 3.
Okay, I'm ready.
You want me to say them out
I
loud?
want you to go. You can go first names only.
Karen,
No.
Heather,
Yes.
Donna Lynn.
Yes.
Okay. That wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
These get degrees, yo.
Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty
All right.
good.
So who's the third one?
That'd be our former board president.
I was going to say Jen,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
but the former Jen.
Yes.
I meant the current Jen, I'll be honest. But I like it.
No. It's a new president now. But it's Jen F. Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, and
70
she's a good.
Yeah,
She's a
yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
a great editor.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a way we all communicate too, because they're all fantastic writers. We're friends, and so they're interested in the topics, or at least they feign being interested in the topics. And it's a way to maintain a relationship. So it takes a hobby and makes it bigger than just me, right? So
I've never seen your editing. Yes, I have. We've edited tons of stuff together.
Yeah.
But I mean, on a non-work level, I don't think I've ever sent you anything to edit. But you, sir, are a first ballot Hall of Fame feedback giver. And a couple of times where I've sent you something, and I've copied and put in a document your feedback, because you are a really great feedback giver.
well, I appreciate that, and I really take pride in doing it, because hopefully you're not sending to me for me to say, Ben, you're the very best, kind of like what you expect
No,
certain people in your household to do, right?
well, maybe because I'm not getting it from her. So,
But I mean, it's interesting to me. I think we all want to get better, and so I try not to be ruthless, right? I'm trying to. You point out positive things too, right?
yeah.
And
No,
so-
yeah. I always like when I did the first podcast, and I'm like, all right, I think I sent it to 10 people, and you were first on the list because I knew that you would actually listen to it and give me thoughtful feedback,
Right.
And so I've always appreciated that about you.
Well, thank you.
So looking over my notes here, the only other thing I had a note to talk to you about is just your discussion of flow. And I don't think we have the same outlook about it, because yours is, I think, you're so enjoying what you're doing that you look up and it's 2 a.m, right? The whole flow example. I just think the days are shorter now. Is that the same thing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, to me, what I hear you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you're so enjoying everything you're doing during the day. It's all things that are your choice, that it goes by super fast, and that's a great thing.
I think you're giving me too much credit. I look up and go, holy crap, it's 2:00. And I've only got through my first 3 things on my list today.
Right. All right. Now, for me, what flow is, and it's, when I first fell in love, and I fell in love with the iPad, right? I did, was when I was reading on my Kindle app on the iPad, and I'm reading a book where the term flow comes up, and it refers to some book by Mikhail Chemerinsky. I forget how you say his name exactly, but it's a long Slavic name. And I went to Amazon, bought that book, and read it. Right? I mean, you could, before you had to go to the library, go to the bookstore, you could just, it was all right there. And, I'm a fast reader and I can do all that. And so he wrote a whole book on flow. And for me, it's not a whole day. There's no way you can have, maybe there is, I don't know, but it's experiences that you have. One of my problems in life that I've had all the time is I am highly distractible, right? I love this, but then, what people say, well, a squirrel, over there, and you look over and see something else, and, or you're multitasking or whatever the case may be. And what flow is, there's no multitasking. There's no wondering what else is going on. There's only that. And you're not thinking about what you have to do next. You're not evaluating what you already did. You're not ruminating over past mistakes. You're not hopeful on what the future may bring. You're in that very present moment, right then, right there, and nothing else. And it might last for 3 minutes, and it might last for 2 hours, right? I mean, just whatever you're doing. And so I try to seek that in each and every day.
To have at least one of those moments.
Yeah. It's hard because when you become self-critical, you're not in flow. And you and I are both highly self-critical. Mm-hmm. When you are in anything but, if you're evaluating or planning or any of that, you're not flowing, right? You just got to be in that moment doing what you do. I know when you're performing, or probably when you're rehearsing with a truck stop. Come on, I mean,
when I'm writing.
When you're writing, sure, yeah.
When I'm writing. So I'm sitting here thinking like, I don't get that very much, because my psychosis is I've literally overscheduled myself every day with things, with life.
Right.
And so the thing I'm working on at this phase of retirement is I'm actually finding myself to be grumpy in the evenings because I didn't get everything accomplished that day that I wanted to. And I've got to figure out how to deal with that, because Michelle comes through the door. She's been working for 12 hours, right? She gets to work at 6:30 and leaves at 6:30. She comes in the door. I've been at home all day, and I'm the one that's grumpy. Perfect. That's all out of whack, right? And so the thing I've been working on lately is, how do I account for that? And I don't have the answer yet, but how do I account for that, where I've made a list of these things that I wanted to do today? And normally speaking, if I go, this has to be done today, I get that done. But if there's things on there that like, okay, these are all the things I'd like to do today, I'm not getting through the list.
One of the things I'm trying to do is, remember how when in our jobs, you look at your calendar and there's no blank spaces in the calendar, right? Everything is boom to boom to boom to boom. And in an ideal world, you have time to reflect on the meeting you just had, maybe take a few notes, maybe do something to resolve some of the thoughts that got brought up in that meeting, or at least be ready for whatever's next, be ready for the next meeting. And it's just constant. So now what I'm trying to do is put space in between, where you're not rushing from thing to thing. I mean, athletes sit on the bench for a quarter, between the quarters, right?
What do you do for that space?
Maybe nothing, Ben.
Really?
Maybe we're like our dogs in that moment. I don't know.
I'm going into the fetal position.
I don't know. There's strange words for me to even utter, because it's not something I do, but I'm wondering if that is what you mean, just to take a break, step outside. I don't know. But
take a mindful moment.
Yeah, a mindful moment, if you will. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Hashtag Michelle Kurzmarzik. I don't know why, whenever I think of that, I think of Michelle. Mindful
Beautiful.
moments. I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, let's check back with each other on that
Okay.
and
Yeah.
how we're doing with the spaces in between, because I don't have any, which on some level I like from 7 o'clock in the morning till 10:30 at night. On some level, I like that because I need to go from one thing to the next, or else I'm gonna chew up all your stuff, right? So,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, I never get through the list.
And you're grumpy.
Let's keep having that conversation.
Okay.
All
I like
right. All right. Dr. Matthews, we have a surprise guest.
Oh boy.
Surprise, Dr. Matthews. It is Dr. Whitaker Stop, Superintendent, Fountain Valley. Am I
School
getting the right district?
Fountain Valley School District.
Okay, yeah, Fountain Valley School.
Proud superintendent.
Proud superintendent.
Welcome.
Thank
You look
you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
You don't look like a superintendent to me because you look amazing. You don't
Aw.
look beat down and haggard.
Gosh, I miss talking to you, Dr. Dale.
You're the best.
Yeah. And yeah, you look okay, Catherine. And,
Dr. Matthews, we're talking. Just wait a minute.
And by the way, Catherine's the one who taught me about this blurred out background. I mean, I think it really, come on. You
See?
taught me.
That's about it, though, right? After that, nothing.
No,
wanted to
you
show
taught me
my
tons
artwork.
of things, Dr. Stop. Tons of things. You made
Good
me
to see
better.
you both. Good to see you both.
Good to see you. I have asked Dr. Whitaker Stop to come and help take us out of today's podcast.
Are you retiring?
No,
Oh, okay. I didn't.
no
I'm
hot
trying to
take.
make the connection.
Yeah, no hot take. So she's come here for a special purpose to finish the podcast today. We are going to have a movie quote competition
Oh my gosh. Okay.
because you're both so amazing at it. Dr. Matthews, if you two discuss quotes, as long as you bring them all up, there's a lot of quotes, right? Yeah. But some of the best entertainment we ever had as principals in the district was all of the movie quotes that just landed flat that Mike would throw out because Catherine would just look at him and get us back on topic. So here we go. So we're going to do an actual hand raise. I'm going to call on the first hand. Here we go. He died in a bizarre gardening accident. Dr. Matthews.
That'd be the first drummer from Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. Well done.
Really a common thing, actually. Bizarre. They couldn't find any parts of them, but sad though.
You're going to add on to every one of these.
Yes. The new phone book is here. I'm somebody. Okay, Dr. Matthews.
That'd be Nathan R. Johnson from The Jerk.
The Jerk. Dr. Stop, can you hear me? Okay. Hi, my
What?
name's Steve. I come from a rough area. I used to be addicted to crack, but now I'm off it and trying to stay clean. Okay.
One more time. Say it again. Say it again.
No, come on. You'd know it. You'd know it if you knew it.
That's from Office Space.
I know that movie. I can't believe it. I don't know that quote.
Okay.
I
Well,
love that movie, though.
here's the next one.
Red Stapler.
Ready? And I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to try to reenact it. Oh, George, not the livestock.
George, not the livestock.
Oh, brother, where art
Oh,
thou?
brother. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
shoot.
not a Quote Fest movie to me.
That's not?
No, it's not. I probably only seen it 3 or 4 times, and it's not. It doesn't. The music is
I've
more.
only seen it like
Well, no wonder you didn't know
You
it.
got to go watch it
Okay.
and laugh every time George Clooney says, "Oh crap, we're in a tight spot."
Yeah, I will.
Here's the next one. You can read minds. Dr. Matthews.
That would be Zoolander when she calls herself a bulimic.
Okay, next one.
Getting this one.
To beat me, he's going to have to kill me. He's going to have the heart to stand in front of me and do that. He's got to be willing to die himself. Dr. Stop.
That's Rocky, right?
Oh, got him. Is that a first?
I think so. Because
That's good.
typically I would think on it, and then in a random moment, 2 days from now, I'd go Rocky. But
Yeah,
today,
she does do that. She does do
it was your
that.
pacing, it was your cadence and your delivery. Thank you,
What
Doctor.
shocked me is that you said Rocky and you didn't just sing the theme song.
Yeah. What, Rocky, does Rocky hold up? I don't know if Rocky holds up. It's slow. It is slow.
I'm going to reveal something about myself. To this day, if I watched any of the Rockies or the Creeds, I cry at the end.
Well, okay. Yeah, we're all in the same boat there, I think.
I cry at the end of every Rocky.
Of course you do.
When that grand theme music comes on, when he wins the championship,
Yeah.
big tears.
Yo,
Yes.
Adrian, we did it. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
Oh,
If I had begun to sing the
Yeah.
theme, right?
Yeah.
What is that? Dun,
gonna
dun,
fly
dun,
now.
dun. I mean, it's
Gonna fly now.
instrumental, right? There's no word.
Da-na-na,
Oh, okay. Okay.
And at the end, they're going, gonna fly now.
Oh, yeah, I could have done that.
Yeah,
Got
you
it.
could've done that, yeah.
which
Are we
could
done?
apply to either winning
This is gonna be
Title.
riveting podcast material. I
Is it
think.
over?
or the exercise montage. Because they'll play it then too.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Here's another
What's
one.
the score? Who's
Another
winning?
quote. Another quote. Right now it's 4-1, but the one was strong. All right, here's the next one.
Thank you.
Math is a wonderful thing. Math is a really cool thing. So get off your ass and do some math. Math.
It doesn't sound like, oh, go ahead.
Doctor, stop.
Is it that one movie where
Yes.
Thank you. I knew it.
Wait,
Right,
is
next
it
question.
stand-in? Is it stand-in? It's not stand-in deliver, is it?
That's the one. Now,
No.
oh,
Oh, you should have been
you were
slow.
reading
School of
my
Rock.
mind.
Huh?
School
I'm
of
not
Rock.
blaming. You can read my
School of
mind.
Rock.
School
Yeah.
of Rock.
Oh,
Math
I saw
is a
School of Rock
wonderful
one time,
thing.
and that was enough. That was enough.
Math is a really cool thing.
Yeah.
So
Black
get off
Thorn,
your ass and do some math.
if we had done that, I may have I've moved on it.
Tenacious
Okay.
D. Yeah.
Okay. He must be the stupidest son of a alive, but he sure is fast. Yes, sir.
That'd be Forrest Gump.
Yes, Forrest Gump.
Shoot.
Is
I
that
was
Bear?
gonna
Is
say-
that Bear Bryant saying that?
Yes.
I think
I was
Yeah.
going to say the water boy. Water boy.
yeah. He wasn't fast. He was strong.
Who spit in the cooler?
It was stupid.
Here's the next one. If
This
you don't
last
chew
one?
Big Red, you ready? If you don't chew Big Red, then you. Yes.
Stripes.
Great pull. Talladega Nights.
Oh, okay.
That was one of Ricky Bobby's commercials.
Now, see, if you had said "Little Baby Jesus,"
Yeah.
we both would have gotten it.
Me
We've-
too. Me
that-
too.
that was
Tiny
a-
hands.
I mean, that was a common. When Catherine and I were in meetings together, by the way, and you don't have to agree with this, but we wore out other people because we both enjoyed this, and other people were kind of
Yeah, which is why I brought her in. Okay, this is for all the marbles.
okay.
Wait.
Catherine, you can
Question
come all the
first.
way back from 6-1 and win. Ready?
Mhm.
Love this game.
You're my boy, Blue.
Shoot. Wait. Give me a second. Don't use your hand so fast. I don't want to know because it's going to come to me on my way home. All right. Go ahead.
Catherine, I gave this one because I think, based on recollection, This was the most quoted movie by Mike in all of our meetings. He was always quoting this movie.
Flashdance?
Yes.
You know, I almost wore that sweatshirt for this interview too, so that's interesting.
Okay,
That would be
what?
old school, old school.
Old school.
old school.
All right.
Okay. I do have to say one thing before you close, though. He just said that I was the one who kind of enjoyed it the most and we exhausted everything the most. Had you ever maybe thought for 1 second, sir, that I was just like nodding
No.
and smiling and enjoying it?
Okay, so you did that. I know you did.
Your friendship was so sincere.
No, but Catherine would get mad at herself because she did enjoy parts of that. But yeah, I mean, the professional side of you put up with me and smile because you thought you had to smile. But I caught you a few times where you would say, "Doggone it, I didn't mean to laugh." Yeah.
And maybe in my superintendency, maybe I share some video clips now and again. Just maybe.
Well, in all
Do
seriousness,
they work? Do they work when you fire them up?
They work for me. I think they're hysterical.
And our jobs are so heavy sometimes that it's okay to bring a little levity to it, even if we're the only ones enjoying it.
No, I was
Spice latte, pumpkin spice latte.
I was referring to all of the missed leadership we got by every PowerPoint you put up that didn't work.
Dr. Matthews?
The scrolling
he's-
photos.
That-
If it
he's
had
not talking to
photos
me.
that had to scroll, forget about it. If it had
He's
a
not
video
talking to me.
embedded, forget about it. What, Mike?
You're not talking to me. You're talking to someone else in this chat.
I'm talking to Catherine.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to be coy.
Catherine has people now. You have people now.
You got people.
Perfectly imperfect.
See, and I know what you're doing too. Every time one of your assistant soups puts up some presentation, doesn't work, you just go, "Oh, it never happened to me."
No, I would never do that. I cry. I'm like, I so get it. I so get it.
Bring it in, bring it in.
Have a growth mindset. That's what I do.
Wow, Luke, did you see that smile at the end? I have a growth mindset.
That's good. That's good.
I'm glad to see you both. Thanks for letting me play.
Great to
This
see
was
you.
really, really fun, and I hope everyone's still with us and
No one.
enjoyed watching us just be friends, and it was great working with both of you, and the students and community of Fountain Valley are lucky to have you, and,
Oh,
Yes,
thank
they are.
you.
Yes,
Thank
they
you.
and miss you both every day.
Right
Same.
back at you, Ben. Yep, absolutely. And Catherine, hope to see you soon, actually. So
That'd be great. That'd be great.
All right, I'm not booting you off, but
Move me on.
I'm Dr. Ben Dale, and I have a fear of retirement.